Alright all, looks like I am live. YouTube says I'm live, so I must be live. Welcome in. This is Hanging with Dave. This is a little live stream that I do every weekend. Just kind of go down through the questions and comments and concerns that's been left on my videos. And I answer any questions that come in through chat for anybody that's live watching me this morning. And like always, I got my disclaimers I throw out there. Number one, I drink me a cold Budweiser while I do this, so cheers to y'all. Good Saturday morning to you, or whenever you're watching this. Also, I'm a truck driver by trade, so there may be a few cuss words to slip from time to time. I try to keep that on the down low or to a minimum, but it does happen from time to time. You know, if the drinking or the language offends you too bad, maybe this ain't the right stream for you. Also, I ain't real good with the English language, let alone some of these YouTube handles, so forgive me if I butcher your names too bad while I go through these. And when it comes to the overclocking questions that a lot of people have on my overclocking videos, you know, they say, hey, I got these components and what can I get out of them and this and that, you know, that's kind of the fun of overclock. You try to do the best that you can with what you got. You try to push it to its limits and make sure it's stable for you. And I can't sit here and tell you exactly what you get out of your components. I could have the exact same components and have different results compared to you. You know, maybe I can't overclock quite as well. Maybe I can overclock a little bit better than what you can. So just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to them kind of questions. If I get any this week, I haven't had much time to really go down through the comments. I know I got quite a few, but not too sure on if I have any questions. It's that kind of format or not. But anyways, I'm going to flip you guys over here. We're going to get started in the Q&A, go down through the questions and comments here. If you have any questions, comments, you throw them over there in chat. I'll be more than happy to stop and answer them the best that I can. Then after I get done with that, we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up on the channel and what's been going on here with the channel and whatnot. And you know, maybe get some advice from you guys and whatnot. And we'll see what we end up talking about today. So let's go ahead here and we'll flip you guys over here. Aspen Dixon, hey Dave, my man, how you doing, Aspen? It's been a while, buddy. Haven't seen you in chat for a while. I'm doing pretty good. Yourself? I hope you're doing good on this Saturday morning. I'm going to flip you over here and we're going to start going through these comments. Like usual, I usually start with the oldest ones. And we start up from there. We have a Narv on last week's live stream says enjoyed. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm back to do it again. What's up with my camera? I shipped it out. I got the shipping address for it on Tuesday. And I mailed it out on Wednesday, and it has arrived in a repair shop down in Florida. That's where they told me to send it to. They received it on Friday, so I'm hoping they get it repaired and shipped back to me this week. I'm hoping. So that's the update on the camera. Like I said, they just got it Friday. I'm hoping they won't take too long on it. They did receive it by what FedEx tracking was telling me. So I'm just kind of waiting for them to get it fixed and get it shipped back to me. How you doing, Arva? Great, looking better this week. Well, I'm trying some different lighting and whatnot to make this old webcam look a little bit better. I'm back to the C920 webcam. Got a little bit more lighting going on and whatnot, a little bit more direct lighting, so I'm trying to make it look a little bit better, the best that I can with what I've got anyways. So, yeah, but I'm hoping to have that camera back this week or next week, hopefully. Smile and speak, man. You will get better. Yeah, I figure the more practice I get, the better I get, right? And as far as I smile, I try to smile as much as I can, the best that I can anyways. Let's see here. We have Ridge Runner, West Virginia. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's my brother in real life, I believe. Hey, just thought I'd stop in and say hi. Keep it going. Well, thank you, Ridge Runner. Appreciate that. Glad you stopped by and left a comment on me. We have Daniel Killer 6 days ago. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. Thanks, man. Helped a ton. I'm glad I could help you out. Appreciate it. I'm glad I can get that BIOS updated for you, show you how to get it done. And guess I forgot to say it, but I want to thank you all for being here, and thank you for the comments and watching my videos, and leaving the comments that you do, and the likes and the shares and all that good happy stuff. Are you a trucker? Yeah, I am. I do drive truck for a living. I'm actually drive a local. I can't no longer pass the DOT physical that the federal government requires here in the U.S. to drive trucks. So I'm actually what they call a yard jockey. I spend all day long in my one little, I don't know, about 5-acre yard, moving trailers around the yard, putting them in and out of the dock for the warehouses needed. You know, they tell me what ones they want to unload. I throw them in the docks. And then I take the empties, move them from one side of the building to the other side of the building, throw them in them doors so they can be reloaded and be shipped back out. But I am a trucker. Like I said, I can't drive on the highways no more. But I do all right for myself for what I do. Ain't too bad, I guess. You are a really unique man. Trucking is a nice job. Yeah. I'm a pretty old school man, actually. There ain't many of us left. Trucking is a pretty good job. It ain't too bad. It pays decent for the area that I live in. You know, of course, I live in West Virginia, so living expenses ain't real bad around here. So I make pretty good for what I do. Not too bad. You can do a home tour. I don't think you really want to see the way I live in my home. My home ain't much to speak of. I mean, you know, I work out of the spare bedroom in my home. You know, I really don't want to show my home off too much. I don't want nobody to know where I'm actually located at, even though you can track my IP address on the internet and figure it out. But my home ain't much to show off. That's why I haven't really did a tour of my setup or anything like that. You know, my setup is about the best that I've put on the channel. But yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a home tour anytime soon. Home isn't about the cleanliness, it's about the happiness that you get in it. Yeah, it ain't the cleanliness that I'm worried about. My girlfriend actually keeps it pretty clean. I live in a mobile home. You know, it ain't much to brag about. It ain't much to see. Yeah, it's an older mobile home, but it is paid off. It's paid for, so and it does what it needs to do. So I don't see no sense of going to debt to get anything better than what I've got. It does what it needs to do. You know, I mean, as far as it being clean, she keeps it pretty clean. So that ain't the cleanliness that I'm worried about. Maxter 1878. Hey Dave, hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good today, bud. How you doing? Glad you guys stopped in and hang out with me here today. I hope you all doing well on this Saturday. Let's see here. Where was we at here? Daniel Killer, done did that one. We have Snozer. How to update the BIOS. I don't know what to do. I press the bell button and then they don't take me to the BIOS. Please help. There's actually a video on the channel I have out. What did I call it? Something about getting in your BIOS from Windows 10 desktop or something like that. It didn't do very well for the channel, but it's still up. I never remember any of my videos, so. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? That page motherboard, yep, XMP, Borderlands, 1080p. Yeah, if you search on the channel, go into the videos and search for it, it'll come up how to get into the BIOS from Windows 10 desktop. Man, I got a lot of videos out already, don't I? Update your motherboard drivers, onboard graphics, PC. Yeah, it's in there someplace. I can't locate it right now. What's my views on India? I don't have much of a view on India. I don't know a whole lot about the country. Never really looked into it. I've never really looked outside of the United States, really. So I don't know much about India. I don't know much about the culture or anything about, how they live over there or anything in that book. I really don't have much of a say on that. You got your PC running there, Maxter 1878. I'm hoping it's running up to what you want it to do. Trump supporter, hey, vote for President Trump. Don't get into politics on the show. I don't do much with politics at all. As far as voting, I don't vote. By the time the votes count for West Virginia, where I live, they're already selected. So I don't even waste my time on trying to vote. What are you drinking right now? Cola? Nope. I got my buddy here, Budweiser. That's pretty well what I drink. My girlfriend says I'm more talkative when I'm drinking, so I try to drink during live show. That way I can continue to talk. That way I don't have the dull moments, right? Hello, just installed a Gigabyte B450GS3H, watched your video, want to allocate more VRAM, but my motherboard doesn't have integrated graphics settings. Depends on the processor you're running. It won't show up with the integrated graphics settings, unless you have an APU installed, which is basically your 2200, 2400, 3200, 3400 Gs. You have to have the G processors to have integrated graphics. If you don't have that, it ain't going to show up. If you run anything else besides something that has a G on it, you ain't going to have the integrated graphics setting because you don't have integrated graphics. Yeah, my PC's good. Needs more storage. Storage is an easy upgrade. It's pretty easy just to add an extra hard drive here or there, or an extra SATA SSD or something. It's pretty easy to do. I'm on the Ryzen 5 1600. Installing, did not know how that. You're welcome. Yeah, that 1600 don't have integrated graphics, so you won't have integrated graphics setting in that motherboard. They just kind of grayed out. They won't let you do nothing with them. But yeah, storage is actually pretty easy to upgrade in your system. A lot of people, they start out with low storage and just add it over time as needed. I mean, I do the same thing. My videos take up quite a bit of space, so, I'll buy 3 terabyte hard drives. Once they get filled up, I pull that one out, I put another one in. They're pretty easy to install. AM2 days, the integrated graphics used to be on the chipset. Yeah, AM2, even back in AM3, they had most of the integrated graphics chips was on the motherboard instead of in the processor. The good old days. Well, don't know much about the good old days, but yeah, they was the old days. Yeah, they kind of changed that with the. That was another thing the Ryzen started doing. They did away with the onboard graphics chipset being on the APUs instead of in the motherboard itself. I have a 3500H and getting a 1650. Happy. Got the about $1,000. It's good for a traveler. Yeah, that'd be pretty good setup for traveling. Gonna get a new NVMe before Christmas. 3600X with the Vega 56. At the moment, going to upgrade next year, getting a PS5 next month. Yeah, you got 3600X with the Vega 56. That's a pretty good system, actually. That's probably does pretty good for your 1080p gaming. Not bad. The 3500H and the 1650 for $1,000. It's all good for a traveler. My suggestion is that you should not drink beer often. I don't drink beer real often. It's usually on Saturdays and Sundays, my days off, I drink. Through the week, very seldom, but maybe I'll have one or two in the evenings, depending on how bad a day I had and if I need to relax my brain some. I drink less than an 18-pack of Budweiser bottles per week, so that ain't too bad. Actually, what I'm drinking on now is what I bought 2 weeks ago. I tried to quit it. I saw people good and fell of cancer or whatever. Yeah, it is kind of hard on the liver. But they also say you ought to have a little bit of alcohol in your system. It helps flush your kidneys and stuff out too. So, and it's like everything else in the world. It has good side effects and its bad effects and the bad side effects to it. How much is a case of Bud in the U.S. dollars? I'll tell you the truth, I really don't know. I pick up my 18 packs and I pick them up at a local store here. I pick it up and some other stuff, and I just pay the bill. I really don't know what they cost. I'm thinking they're $20 or so for an 18 pack. So that probably ain't too bad. I'm assuming that's what it cost. Let's see here. 18. Budweiser. Alright, there we go. And the US dollar, Budweiser large beer 30-pack cans going for about 21 bucks. 18-pack of cans, 15 bucks. 18-pack, 12-ounce beer bottles going for $17. Right there you go. About 20 bucks for about a case. Ain't too bad. How's the smoking going? That's more important. Well, I actually don't do too bad on smoking when I'm home. But when I get to the job, I kind of fail at it. And that's my big thing. I want to quit the smoking before I worry about the drinking. I was 2 to 3 packs a day smoking. I'm down to about a pack a day or less than a pack a day smoking. I'm doing pretty, I guess, I didn't get to quit cold turkey like I wanted to, but I am working on it. I just get a little overwhelmed at work, and I need to learn how to deal with the stress at work without having the cigarettes to fall back on. Yeah, I think I can do it too. It may take me a while. The cold turkey didn't quite work. That weekend that I did that, I said I quit smoking that morning. I did good while I was at home. Once I got to work, it was about 2 hours within my shift. I looked at my boss and said, I'm gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes. Just the stress of it and whatnot. It's, like I said, I just have to find another way to deal with that stress than lighting up a cigarette. Quit all the bad things like drinking and smoking, because I have lost many taking less than a pack a day. Yeah, the smoking's the big thing on my list. I really want to get rid of that. The drinking, I don't know, I probably should cut back on that some, but the smoking's my big thing. I want to get away from the smoking. There's other reasons why I need to quit smoking. I got some big operations I want to start getting done next year on my legs and whatnot. But to be able to do that, I need to quit my smoking. They won't do the operation as long as I got nicotine in my system. That's why I'm focusing mainly on smoking. You're a really good guy. We wish you good, man. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's smoking thing. It's a hard habit to kick. I never realized it was such a hard job, but it is a hard one to kick. Good night from India. Good night. Glad you stopped in and hung out with me for a while before you went to bed. Hope you don't have nightmares now from watching me. But yeah, that's kind of the update on the smoking thing. I still do, but I've cut back a hell of a lot on it. So I'll get it kicked one of these days all the way. What's that? The smoking? I have sweet dreams after telling people good things. Yeah, it does make you feel pretty good. It probably does make you sleep a little bit better at night. Alright, let's get you flipped back over here. It's not about the voice or the face, it's about the personality. Well, thank you, appreciate that. Thanks for today, good night. You're welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, what's going on my bill? What's going on here? 4,500. They're telling me to change my bit rate again. They tell me that every weekend. OBS needs to leave me alone. Alright, let's see where we at over here. Yeah, about hitting both the bell button. I guess it's talking about the delete key. There is a way to get into it from Windows 10 desktop, which it is on the channel if you go down through my videos. We have Gabrielle Hormalsa, I guess we pronounce it. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450. If I have the Ryzen 5 3400, will I have to update the BIOS? Nah, for the 3400G, it should be a plug and play. You shouldn't have to update that B450 to get the 3400, because the 3400 is actually a Ryzen Zen Plus architecture, so it should go in and work fine without it. We have Vortrace123 6 days ago on last week's live stream. Thanks for the vids, they helped a lot. Well, you're welcome. Glad I could help you. Why you keep on the cap always? I don't know. I've always wore a cap since I was young, and it's just kind of part of who I am. I've always got a ball cap on. I don't know. There, you want to see me without it? There we go. Yes, I need a haircut. There we go. See if I can make it throughout the stream without it, which I doubt it, but we'll try. Does that look better for you? Just the ball caps is always, I started wearing a ball cap when I was young, and I've just always had a ball cap on. You look like Beer Gonzalez. Yep, not sure on who that is, but okay. Not too sure on who that character is or whatnot, but alright, I'll take that. Appreciate that. Take that, that's a compliment. That's the way I'll take it anyways. He is a smart guy. I try to be smart, or at least pretend that I'm smart. Whichever way you want to look at it. Let's see here. We have Grave Telemark. I guess the way you pronounce that. The Radeon RX 56XT WindForce graphics card benchmarks. Could you do CSGO? I actually tried that, and I actually mentioned that in the video. I tried doing CSGO, but for some reason I couldn't get MSI Afterburner to show the onboard display in CSGO. I don't know. I haven't really got to look into it yet to see if there's any way to make that possible. And without having the MSI overlay, it's kind of hard to tell your frame rates unless you run something different. Are you married? No. I do have a girlfriend we've been living together for about 4 years. Talked about marriage, but no, not married. So yeah, CSGO is something I'd like to get into benchmarking, but I'm not too sure on how to do it. Maybe just run fraps, but then you really don't have the 1% lows and all that in it. So I'm not too sure on how to actually go about benchmarking CSGO. That's why I didn't put that in that video. We have a Ryzen X, I guess the way you pronounce this one. How to overclock your RAM. So does overclocking it make your PC run faster? Yes, especially if it's an AMD Ryzen system. Ryzen enjoys their faster RAM, and it does really boost the performance in the Ryzen system. So yeah, it does make a big difference. I'm actually thought about putting out a video on that, running mine at stock and then overclocking it, showing the difference in it, which I know it's been done quite a bit, but yeah, I may do a video about that. Especially, like I said, especially with AMD Ryzen, everybody knows that they enjoy their faster RAM. You're 30 plus and there is your girlfriend. That's not normal here. Actually, I was married for 15 years. In 2016, I lost my wife. So I'm still in the midst of starting over again. So yeah, that's why I'm not married. Like I said, I lost my wife in 2016. It's kind of hard to make that jump again. Which I do love my girlfriend very much and whatnot, but I'm starting over from scratch again as far as that goes. Like I said, we've talked about getting engaged, talked about getting married and whatnot, but it just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I was married before I was 30. I was actually, the wife that I lost was the second wife. My first wife, I was young and dumb, and I thought I knew more than everybody else. Yeah, I believe she's resting in peace. She was a pretty happy-go lady, and I think she was ready for it, unfortunately. Best luck to the future. Yeah. I need some good luck for the future. Sorry, the question. Rest in peace, man. Hey, it's all right. That's how you get to know somebody, by asking questions, right? Actually, I talk about that a little bit in my backstory, on my background, how I got into computers. I kind of mentioned some of that. But yeah, that's why I'm not married. It's just kind of hard to take that step, and even though she's gone, I still love her. I still miss her. Even though it's been so many years. And it's just hard to take that next step with somebody else. Let's see here. Who we got here next? So Nathan R. How to overclock your RAM. Hi, Mr. Dave. I use the same motherboard with G-Skill Ripjaws 5, 3200 megahertz, 16, 18, 1838. XMP is unstable. I had to set it manually just like you did with the same values in the video. Currently fixed at 2933, 16, 18, 1832. Should I change from 32 to 36? Or just like mentioned 38 on the XMP? Or should I just stay with 32 clocks? You ain't gonna get much of a performance from going from 32 to 36. I'd probably, I mean, if it's running stable with what you've got, I mean, that ain't too bad of settings. If it's running stable, I'd stay with what it is. You know, if it's, like I said, if it's running stable, I wouldn't push it much further. And by loosening up them times a little bit, it may actually lower your performance a little bit. I'd just stick with what it is right now. Don't worry about all the marriage stuff. Just be happy. Yeah, I'm happy with the way my life's leading. I'd actually like to be able to do something like this full time, make me a little bit happier, but that'll come in time. But I'm pretty happy with the way my life is right now. Yeah, but as far as that overclocking question is, if it's stable, I'd leave it alone. You know, loosen it up from 32 to 36, or go to 38. You know, it's loosening your timings up, so it may not be quite as good as performance. And if it's stable with the 32, I'd leave it at 32. Yeah, see, 16 years old, nah, I shouldn't even be thinking about marriage yet. No, not my mind of thought anyways. 16 years old, man, go enjoy your life. You got a lot of life ahead of you. We have Supreme SS. How to update the BIOS. Does this have dual BIOS? I'm really worried since power outages is kind of unexpected and can be frequent sometimes in my country. So a backup BIOS can be super lifesaver. No, that motherboard, DS3H is a budget motherboard. It don't have two BIOSes. It's only got the one to it. So it don't have a dual BIOS. If you're worried about the power outages and stuff like that, you could always get your UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, plug it in. I usually use one of them. Our power around here is usually pretty stable, but I still have one. I still run my computer on one. And anytime I do a BIOS update, I'll make sure the computer's plugged into it. So that's an option. You know, the more expensive motherboards got the dual BIOSes, or the BIOS reset is pretty nice to be able to have. That DS3H is a budget motherboard. It don't have them options to it. It don't have two BIOSes or the BIOS reset button to it. You may, you know, so if you're worried about it, you know, like I said, but then by the time you add the, I don't know, I mean, you know, you get the UPS, the uninterruptible power supply, you know, it's, I don't know, to me it's kind of a good thing to have your system plugged into anyways. Especially with what I do with video editing and whatnot, you know, it gives me time to save my progress before I lose power. You know, they usually have quite a few hours of power within them, the batteries inside them UPSs. But now that don't have a dual switch to it or dual BIOS to it. Let's see here. We have Linus Villas, I guess. How to disable the onboard graphics. Thanks for the videos. Big help fixing my BIOS issue. Appreciate the help. Good work, Dave. Well, you're welcome. Thank you. I try to keep my videos halfway decent and informative and try to help everybody that I can. I'm glad I could help you with that BIOS. Lose the cap for good. I don't see that happening. I mean, I keep my hair cut more often, and I don't want to have to do that. It costs me money if I got to keep my hair cut more often. Maybe I can for the live streams, though. How about that? Whenever I do my live streams, maybe I'll take my ball cap and throw them on the side, but I probably won't lose it for good. Let's see, we got John Andrews. Only Q&A, last week's episode. Dave, I see a few Borderlands videos up. I was curious if you played any other games. Maybe do a Twitch live stream. Getting for the good time. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, buddy. Appreciate you stopping in and checking me out and hanging out with me for a while. Appreciate that. John Andrews. I do have Borderlands 3 up on the channel. Now, I haven't even played that game for a while. I don't get to play many games. YouTube's my big game. It takes up most of my free time. You know, like most of you know, I do work a full-time job. I work anywhere from 60, 70, 80 hours a week. As far as doing a Twitch stream, I do have a Twitch channel. I was planning on starting to stream that twice a week, and it never came to. I was going to do it on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, and I never did actually get into that. That's actually why I bought the 2070 Super for my system, was to do them live streams with. But I'd like to get into find more time for gaming and do some Twitch streams. I like to expand out on the Twitch. At one time, I actually started a gaming channel here on YouTube. I streamed to it once and I closed it down. I need to focus more on this channel, try to get this channel up and going a lot stronger than what it is before I go into other branches or other channels or even Twitch, actually. I just don't have the time for it. I'd really like to be able to do some Twitch streaming with games, but it just ain't possible at this time. So, yeah, maybe in the future, maybe I can get into actually doing my Twitch streams and whatnot. Who else do we got here? Volkan Yuzuman, I guess. On how to overclock your RAM. Hello, I haven't seen the video yet, but I have a question for you. I have Corsair Vengeance DDR4 3200 and a B450 DS3H. Does this support 3200? Yes, it does support 3200 megahertz RAM. Can you OC that port, or are you going to OC to a lower megahertz RAM to a higher megahertz? In that video, I'm changing the frequency of the RAM from a lower megahertz to a higher frequency megahertz. Pretty much that's what an OC is on your RAM. You're just upping the speed of them. Like in the last overclocking RAM video I put out, sometimes you gotta loosen up your timings to be able to get the higher speeds, but it's worth it in the long run. What do I think of the AMD GPU launch? From what I've seen on them, they're very promising. If AMD is telling the truth about the numbers that you can actually get for the performance for the dollar, I think NVIDIA ought to be scared. What is it, the 6800? I think it is. They're supposed to be competing with the 3070. It's a little bit more priced than what the 3070 is, but for the better performance, a lot of people be willing to put a little bit more money out if the performance numbers are there. From what I've seen on them and what the AMD was showing, the 3090, their rival for 3090, which is the 6900 XT, coming in $500 less for roughly the same performance. NVIDIA needs to be scared. If the numbers ain't bogus, if the independent reviewers actually get the same numbers or even close to the same numbers, I think AMD's doing a pretty good job with the big Navi. It depends on what the actual benchmark on some of the other guys' channels show. But if they can bring them in for less money with the same performance or even close to the same performance. And AMD is also known for the driver issues when they first launch. Over 6 months to the year after the card's been launched, that's when they really start maturing the drivers where you can really get the best performance, just like the 5500, 5600, 5700. If you go back and look at the videos when they first launched compared to videos of today, since they've been out for a while, they've had a chance to work on them driver issues. You can actually see better performance in time out of your AMD cards than you can in NVIDIA. NVIDIA, when they launch their cards with their drivers, they're usually the max that you're going to ever see out, which is a good thing. you know, but AMD usually gets better with a little bit of time with the drivers and whatnot, which makes the cards run more efficient and gives you better performance out of them. Yeah, it's really interesting in the way the graphics cards are lining up right now. You know, and the other thing is, can AMD have, unlike NVIDIA right now, you know, I tried getting a 3070 for the channel, and as soon as I looked them up, they was already sold out. You know, and I went back and looked several times since then. I can't catch the 3070 in stock, just like the 3080, 3090. Which with them pushing the launch back by a couple weeks, I was hoping they'd be able to fix this, but apparently they wasn't. I'm hoping the big Navi ain't gonna be the same issues, which they may be, especially at them price points for the performance you're getting out of them. I think you may see the same thing. Hopefully AMD has enough cards available to meet the demand. I think the numbers were truthful, but they didn't really talk about ray tracing performance, which makes me think that they are behind there. Yeah, well, this is the first AMD cards that has hardware ray tracing to it. You gotta keep that in mind. Well, NVIDIA's had a couple. You know, they've had the 2000 series that they actually launched with hardware ray tracing, which gave them a little bit of an upper hand because they've been able to improve on it. This is the first time AMD's introducing ray tracing. Their ray tracing may not be quite as good because they haven't had time to actually develop or to perform on the ray tracing side because they don't have anything prior to build on. You know what I mean? It's the first time they're coming out with the ray tracing. So yeah, they may be a little bit behind on the ray tracing. You know, I got the 2070 Super with ray tracing. I've never turned the ray tracing on it. I've never played a game with ray tracing. You know, me, I normally play the first-person shooters when I do play, and that's, you know, I really don't take time to look at the reflections and the lighting and whatnot. You know, I'm too interested in killing the bad guy or trying to kill my opponent than I am looking at the fanciness of the graphics. That's just me. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. But, you know, I mean, if you're going to sit there with the ray tracing on and just admire the backgrounds and whatnot, you know, maybe ray tracing's for you. No hat today, Dave. Morning. Morning to you, the great. No, I took my hat off. Someone asked me why I always had the hat on, so I threw it to the side for the day. I got it here. It hasn't went no place. But someone asked me why I always wore a ball cap, so well, I'll give you a chance to look at me without one. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it off I'm gonna try to leave it off for the rest of the stream. I can't make no promises, but it may not be back on my head for the stream. We'll see. We'll see how this works out without no ball cap. I'm glad you come in and hang out with me this morning. We have Slushy K 2 days ago. How to overclock your aim on the Ace shoes. Nice video, Dave. Well, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's see here. We have Marcos Trunos, I guess we pronounce that. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. Thank you. This is a really nice tutorial. I had trouble configuring 4x8 Kingston Hyper-Fury X to 3600, same mother, which are the values I should use. I'd go in, turn in the XMP profile, see what the numbers is. That gives you a good starting point. Even if you put them in manually, sometimes they'll actually run at what XMP set at, even though it won't run on XMP. And even if it don't, it gives you a good starting point. You know, maybe you have to loosen up your timing a little bit more, or maybe cut down the frequency a little bit on them. But that's a good starting point to start with when you're doing your overclocking on your RAM. Who else do we got here? Buff Hardback. How to build a PC in the Cooler Master HAFX Evo case. That's an old video. That one back in 2015. Hey man, pretty nice. One thing I watched you do, because I just bought one of these cases myself. Good explanation. Well, thank you. I hope I helped you get your system put together, or kind of explain the case to you a little bit better in that video. 404 user not found. Sounds like a website. How to set up the new gaming computer. What if you don't have XMP in your advanced memory settings? Well, they either call it XMP or they call it DOCP, one or the other, as long as your RAM's overclockable. It's kind of hard, but there is some RAM kits out there that ain't overclockable. If you don't have XMP, you know, I got a video out showing you how to overclock your RAM. It's on the Gigabyte motherboard. And then I got one now on the Asus motherboard out. Follow them, depending on your motherboard. Have you ever played Escape from Tarkov? No, I've never played that one, Jason. I've heard of that one. I've seen some people play it and whatnot, but I've never played that one myself. It looks pretty fun though. Depending on your motherboard though, as far as if your XMP ain't in your advanced memory setting, try to manually overclock it using XMP settings. Good night, man. See you on the next one. Good night, Aspen. I'm glad you stopped in and hung out with me. Have a good night's sleep, bud. Which I wanted to be doing another overclocking guide on the RAM. Happy Halloween. Yep, happy Halloween to you too. It's 10:46 a.m. for me. And you ain't too far behind me. It's only 11:46 here, so you must be over in one time frame over to us. People's going to bed. Yeah, it's and it depending on where they're at. You know, like at one, you know, they're from India. You know, they're 12 hours off from us. You know, so being 11 o'clock here in the morning, it's 11 o'clock at night over there. It just depends on what part of the world they're from. And, you know, everybody lives a different lifestyle, you know. Maybe they work night shift, so they're just getting home from work or something. You know, I've had people state that, you know, when I do my live streams, it's like 2:30 in the morning their time. You know, they can't really catch the live stream. So it just all depends on what part of the world you're in. Alright, what else we got here next? Hopefully that kind of clarifies the XMP. It could be DOCP, or you go in and try your manually overclocking settings. Massacre, it's 15:47 here. 3:47 p.m. It just all depends on what part of the world you're in, what time it is. Right now where I'm sitting at, it's 11:48 a.m. So that means I've been going for 48 minutes. Not too bad this week, I guess. Let's see here. We have MX Lawn. I guess the way you pronounce that. M10 Lawn. I don't know. How to overclock your RAM. Thank you, sir. You saved me. God bless, and continue to grind it out. Well, you're welcome. Glad I could help you. I hope God keeps sending me good blessings. And as far as continue to grind it out, I will do. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I'll tell my neighbor to anyway. I say we have a Journal Quick. I guess we pronounce that. I don't know. Custies. How to overclock the Ryzen 5 3600. Thank you for making this video. I was looking for someone who had the same motherboard and processor like me to guide me. I managed to overclock to 44,325 megahertz at 1,250 millivolts at 82 degrees. after 10 minutes of 8 of 64 stress test. That don't sound too bad. 3600 up to 4.3 megahertz or gigahertz. That ain't bad. Pretty nice overclock, not bad. Because I think it boosts up to what, 4.2, or it'd be 4200. So that's pretty good little over, and you're staying within your thermal range of 82 degrees. It's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good little overclock there. Kirsten Scarf, I guess we pronounce that. ASUS B550 unboxing and overview. And then they did the, also came back on overclocking the RAM on that one. I watched this, and I do need a BIOS update for the Ryzen 3 3100. I know it's not on the list, but I don't know if the motherboard needs to be updated to that version 0236. Can someone help me? Did you have to do a BIOS update in order to be compatible with the 3600? No, the B550 is compatible with the 3000 series right out of the box. I didn't have to do a BIOS update. Actually, I don't think I did do the BIOS update on that motherboard yet. And I need a BIOS update for the Ryzen 3 3100. 3100 needing a BIOS update? Yeah, I never looked that much into it. Maybe you do. I don't know. It's on the list, but I don't know if the motherboard needs to be updated to that version. The 3100, it should work with that motherboard straight out of the box. I mentioned it before on one of my other videos that the B550 is made for the Ryzen 3000 series CPUs. So you shouldn't need to update that BIOS. I didn't need to update it for the 3600. Actually, I got a gigabyte B550 motherboard coming in. I plan on doing a build with the 3100. I'm hoping I don't have to do a BIOS update on it, which I shouldn't. There's a 3000 series processor with the B550 chipset. Should be compatible without it. I didn't have to do one for the 3600. I don't see why you should have to do one for the 3100. Who else do we got here? Maxter 1878, how to overclock your RAM. Nice video, Dave. How are you finding the motherboard? Sitting over there collecting dust. Actually, if you look behind me, it's sitting right there is the actually computer that is put in. It's a $900 build. And that's pretty well what it does. Unless I'm doing a video, it just sits there. I don't do nothing with it. Which I'm gonna get into here in a little bit. Anyways, talking about some of these computer components I got and whatnot. But yeah, I don't do a whole lot with the motherboards. I just kind of sit around in systems until I disassemble them or whatnot. But yeah, motherboard seems to be pretty good for what I do with it, which ain't much right now. Let's see here. We have Perel. How do you change the timings? It won't let me click or type on it at all. That's how to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. If it won't let you change the timings, you need to go in and take it off of auto on the main settings. Take it off of auto and put it on to manual overclocking. That way it lets you change them settings. You should be able to, once you change that to manual, you should be able to go in and make changes to them settings. See if we got any more comments that came in here this morning. Nope, don't look like. Anything helpful review? Nope. Likely spam? Nope. Looks like it's going to pretty well wrap it up for the questions, comments, and concerns. Alright guys, what do you think? You think I ought to leave the ball cap off? You think I ought to throw it back on now since you're getting a good clear view of me? Let me know over there in chat. put it on or keep it off? Which way you think? But that's pretty well going to be the end of the Q&A here, I guess, for the comments. Throw anything over there in chat you'd like to ask me or anything else you'd like to know. I'm pretty well an open book. Pretty well. Not quite, but pretty well. The video for this week coming up, if you watched, if you ain't new around the channel, you know I got the 3950X CPU for my system. Put that in there a couple weeks ago, actually. I'm gonna be doing a video on how to update, how to upgrade your AMD AM4 processor. That's gonna be this week's video coming up. I got some of it recorded already. I haven't got a whole lot done. Been doing some research this morning on it and whatnot. Also, coming up on the channel, if you watch the $600 gaming PC build, excuse me, I used the Gigabyte B550M DS3H motherboard in that one. There's a reason why I used that particular motherboard. Number one, it's a decently priced B550 motherboard. But also, a few weeks back, I had someone ask about overclocking the RAM on it. And, you know, I said it should be pretty much like the B450 chipset. They said it was completely different, but thanks for the response anyways. So I bought that one for that $600 build. That way I can direct them to the RAM overclocking when I get that video done. So that's kind of why I used that motherboard in that $600 build. I want to also do a RAM overclocking on it. You know, I mean, I don't know. It seems like some of my videos are getting repetitive. Now I did the RAM overclocking on the B450 Gigabyte motherboard. I did it again on the Asus motherboard B550. But as the chipsets change, you know, the way some of this stuff's done changes along with it. So I don't know, but you know, I had a request. You know, someone asked me if I could do it. You know, I told them on the Gigabyte B550, you know, I couldn't just buy the motherboard for $100 just to do the RAM overclocking on it. But so you know, I put some thought into it. You know, I'm gonna get a couple extra videos out for the channel on that by getting that motherboard, and it fits into the $600 budget pretty good. A $600 budget build coming up on the channel. So I went ahead and bought it. That way I could do the RAM overclocking on that one for him, for the for whoever left that comment. I don't know how to find the comments that's been responded to or not on YouTube, so it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint who replied to what. But yeah, so that's. You know, I ordered the CPU, ordered the GPU, ordered the motherboard, everything up. I ordered the rest of the components needed for that build, so it'll be coming up here on the channel. Of course, I'll probably do the overclocking on it. I'll be doing the benchmarks on it. I'm kind of thinking about maybe just doing a time lapse of the video of the build process, because it's basically the same thing as a $900 system, just different components, but it's basically the same thing. So I may just do a time lapse of the build and put the benchmark numbers up at the end of it. I don't know if I want to do two different videos on that or just combine them all into one. I haven't really made up my mind on that one yet. But you know, I do pay for everything out of pocket, so you know, I try to get as much content on the channel as possible out of my investment on the computer components. Which kind of brings me up to my next point for the channel. I have quite a few different systems sitting around here. I have, you know, I got the the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard laying back there. I got the 2400 processor laying back there. I got the 2700 processor laying back there. I got the RX 580 graphics card laying back there. I've got the $900 build, which is still together back here. I'm going to start putting some systems together just to sell, which I started ordering the components for that to be able to sell the systems. I don't know if y'all would be interested in me maybe doing videos on these builds. Most of the components you've already seen me use on the channel. But I'm going to start building them to sell them. Number two, the number one thing is, now as the ports age, they're going to go down less in value, which means I'm going to lose more money on the selling of the components. But it also gives me more money coming in by selling these systems to be able to buy newer stuff for the channel. Kind of helps supplement the purchase of the new components and whatnot that I've been buying for the channel. I just don't know if you all would be interested in seeing me put these computers back together. It's going to be in different cases probably, but the main component is going to pretty well stay the same. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. If I should record them, maybe do somewhat of a half-ass build on them. Instead of a how-to, just do a time lapse of the build. Throw up the prices. Okay, it's a $600 system. When I ported it out, now it's $400 system because of the way the economy is, or I don't know. I don't know exactly how to do that yet. Regarding the caps, whatever makes you more comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable either way. Night as well, bud. Them benchmarks then for the channel and sell them. Build them, benchmark them for the channel and then sell them. That's what I was thinking. It gives me one last hurrah, or give me a little bit more content for the channel. Like I said, there are ports you've already seen on the channel. I was thinking maybe doing a time lapse of the build and the benchmarks all in one for these components, because you guys have already seen them on the channel. Besides the cases, I'll probably buy different cases, put them in different cases. A $900 build sitting back there, I'll probably add some ARGB or some kind of lighting to it to actually sell it. Because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants tempered glass side panels. Everybody wants lighting in their systems anymore. So I'll have to do that. I ordered a couple extra 2 terabyte hard drives so I could put it in the system instead of just selling them with a 500 gig SATA drive. Add a little bit extra storage just to make it a pretty good buy for whoever's going to buy them. That way you have the 500 gig SSD for your boot drive. Then you still have a 2 terabyte storage drive for your games and whatnot. I also have, what else was it? I ordered some extra power supplies and stuff like that for these things. I ordered some extra RAM modulars, that's actually compatible with the motherboards, like a Gigabyte B450 motherboard I got. The RAM that I was using in that wasn't XMP ready. So I ordered some RAM for it, 16 gig kit, just to be able to slap it, turn an XMP, not have to worry about it. Because manual overclocks over time, they kind of depreciate, they kind of not work like they should. Then you end up with freezes and all that. And I don't want the customer to have to worry about that if I'm selling it. So I did order a new RAM for that one. If shipping to the UK wasn't an issue, I'd buy a build. Yeah, that's part of my problem with shipping, especially to the people that's in other countries. The tariffs. What you guys have to pay to get these packages in, or what you'd have to pay to get these computers shipped to you is, it's completely outrageous. I mean, it makes it to where the computer ain't worth the money. So, I'm going to be selling them here locally in my local area on Facebook or Let Go or whatever. But, I'm just getting too many cases sitting around, too many computer components. Like I said, and they're losing value as they sit here. So I need to do something to try to get some money coming back in. It kind of helps clean out inventory, because I did buy all these parts out of pocket. I can do with them as I want, A lot of times if these companies send you something, you ain't allowed to sell them for a profit or whatever. These ports I've bought all of my money, so I can turn around and sell them. Then I can reinvest it in the new ports for the channel. You know, and if it ain't for ports, it's, you know, for better cameras, better lighting, whatever. Maybe actually think about getting me a little bit better tripods for my camera, something with a fluid head instead of these old cheap things that I'm using. BNW, hi, how you doing, buddy? I'm glad you come in and join me. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me. Sorry about that, guys. But there's just some of the stuff that you can look forward to up on the channel. As far as them components that you've already seen, you know, I want to, you know, I'll probably do a time lapse of the build and do the benchmarks right afterwards, and all in the same video. A $600 build, I think I'm going to do it like I normally do it when I get all the components in. Like I said, I got everything ordered for it. Some of them should be here within the next week or so. But yeah, this week's video, it'll be I'll be upgrading my CPU from the 2700 up to 3950X. I'm gonna put a video out on that, which is kind of strange. When I was filming that one, I pulled the heatsink off of it, and actually the CPU come up out of the socket. And anybody that's been around AMD processors or has changed out processors, AMD ain't new to this. It happens. It shouldn't happen, but it does happen from time to time. I think it was kind of cool that I got it on film. But I'm going to also cut into it, and, you know, well, if your CPU don't come out with your heatsink, this is the way to do it. But, you know, I thought it was kind of cool that I actually caught it on film with that thing coming out like that, with the CPU still being connected to the heatsink. But that's kind of what you can expect here on the channel coming up in the next couple weeks. Of course, as the motherboard comes in, the B550, there'll be an unboxing overview of it. The 1650 that I ordered, I believe it was the 1650. Wasn't it 1650? Yeah, 1650 OC from Gigabyte. I ordered it. It'll be coming in. I'll be doing an unboxing and overview of it. So yeah, that's some of the stuff. Some good CPU under $100. You looking for a CPU under $100? Well, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Components. Yeah, let me flip you guys over here. Let's see here. We got components. We got CPU. You looking for AMD or you looking for Intel processor? AMD. Okay, AMD. Apply that. Well, I'm sure you don't want that. Don't apply. That ain't gonna 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 apply. None of them's gonna apply. Alright, I'm sure you want a Ryzen, right? I already have 16 gigs of 32 RAM. Let's see here. For under $100, I tell you the truth, I paid over $100 just for the 3100 the other day. Well, actually this morning when I ordered it. Yeah, AMD Ryzen 3 3100. It's going for $120 right now for a Newegg. 3200G. Yeah, for 108. 3000G. It's only a dual core, but I believe it comes with hyper threading, SMT. I have the 3200G. Is the 31 any better? The 3100 would be a little bit better in gaming. You're looking at $120. I don't know what I paid for it this morning. I didn't even pay much attention. it will get you a little bit better performance because it's got a better IPC, especially when it comes to the gaming aspect of it, and even in productivity. It's a little bit better. It don't have the onboard graphics, so your CPU is dedicated truly just to the CPU performance. I think you get a little bit better performance out of the 3100 from the 3200G. But you want to stay around $100 or so. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to stay around $100, you know, probably the 3100 probably be your best bet. Give you a little bit enough lift. What kind of games and GPU do you have? That's going to be the main question. You know, the 3100's got a little bit better IPC, but is it actually worth putting an extra $120 out for the gains on it? I don't think so. I mean, unless you, well, I mean, if you'd be willing to do 120 for the 3100G, you get the 2600 for the 148. That gets you up to a 6-core 12-thread processor. That'd be a lot better payoff for an extra, what, $20, $30. You know, I don't see where there'd be a whole lot of a difference between the 3200G and the 3100. But like I said, it's got better IPC. It does a little bit better on productivity, depending on what you want to do. But if you're playing games at 1080p, which if you're on the 3200G, I'm going to say you're playing at 1080p, I don't see you're going to see much of an uplift for the $120 investment. If you can't get at least a 6-core, I don't think it's going to be really worth the investment to go up any higher. And now from the 3200G, you're going back to 2600. Well, 3200G is pretty well 2200G. But it does give you 6-core 12-thread with a little bit higher boost, which is going to be pretty good performance. It's going to give you a pretty good uptick on your performance side of it. Do you do anything else with your system instead of just the just video, just gaming? That's another thing to look at. You know, if you do streaming or be interested in doing something like streaming or creation, you know, a 6-core 12-thread would be a lot better choice for you. Nope, just gaming. And you're using the 1050 Ti. What kind of usage percentage you getting on your CPU with that 1050 Ti? If I'm not mistaken, you shouldn't get the 3200G shouldn't be holding back the 1050 Ti by too much. If it actually ain't holding back your performance, I don't see where an upgrade is actually necessary. Oh, it is at 100%. Okay, then yeah. If your CPU usage is at 100%, the 2600 would definitely relieve that. You should be able to get better performance out of the 2600 because that means it's holding back your clock to 4 gigahertz. Yeah, if your CPU usage is 100%, it's holding back your 1050 Ti. So yeah, 2600 I think would be your safe bet without too much of an uplift on your price. You know, it's what, $150. And if that 3200G is holding you back and it's stacking out of 100%, that 3100 is probably going to do about the same. So yeah, I think the 2600 would be your best bet on that. You're welcome. That's 6-core 12-thread at 3.9 gigahertz should relieve that CPU holding back your GPU. It's kind of interesting that even a 3200G 4-core 8-thread processor would be holding back a 1050 Ti. But it's possible. It's very possible. which I've said before, you know, if you actually want a decent gaming experience, you need at least a 6-core processor nowadays, because the games will utilize them, and the GPU will be held back by the GPU will be held back by the CPU if it ain't at least a 6-core processor. I don't think there's enough of an uplift from the 3200G to the 3100G to qualify for an extra $120. I was having problems with my B450 plus the Ryzen 3600 giving blue screens of death all the time. It turns out that the downgrading BIOS F41 is the solution. Downgrading to F41 works better with the 3600? That's interesting. I mean, it's possible. I mean, you know, they try to improve the BIOSes to get you better performance, but sometimes it's a smack in the face to you. Yeah, and that's the thing with doing the BIOS updates. Yeah, 51's giving you a lot of blue screens of death. Even if it ain't a BIOS, or even if it ain't a beta BIOS, sometimes they still have a lot of glitches that they need to work out on them. No, it works like a fine clock. Well, I'm glad you figured that one out. It's kind of interesting. It's something to keep in mind if you're going to be running the 3600 on that motherboard. You know, the BIOS is supposed to help to improve stuff, but every once in a while they go the opposite way. Yeah, it's like, well, I think it was that F41. I believe it was F41. I actually put a video out on the channel about breaking my motherboard, and I think that was F41 that I had on it, to where as long as I had my SATA hard drive plugged into the SATA port, it wouldn't even boot. I had to unplug the SATA drive and then it'd boot into Windows. It's kind of a strange thing with that. I believe that was F41 that had that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was F41. I know it's a pretty old video. I don't even remember what I called it. Did I brick my motherboard or something like that? But I think it was F41, where as long as that SATA drive was plugged in, it wouldn't even boot into Windows off my NVMe drive. Pretty interesting. Massacre 1878. Right, Dave got to take this little one out trick-or-treating. Have a good weekend. Hopefully see you next week. I'll be here next week. As far as I know, I'm working my overtime through the week. So I'll be here next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here for you, bud. Hope you can catch me. Hope you can stop in and hang out with me. Happy Halloween to you. F40 and F41 is the more stable for Ryzen 3600 series, in my opinion. Yeah, I never put my 3600 into that motherboard. But different BIOSes is more stable for different CPUs. I'm trying to find that video I put out about bricking my motherboard. Because I think that was F41. I'm thinking. But I was also running the 2400G, not the 3600. Which it could make a difference. When the hell is it at? Was it that long ago? Maybe it was that long ago. I didn't think that video was that old. Maybe it was. But yeah, I think it was F41 that I was F40 or F41. I think it was F41. I was having problems with that side of the drive, not letting my system boot up. Let's check the comments here again, make sure nothing else news came in, because they do come in pretty frequently sometimes. Okay. Yeah, nothing news came in. Alright guys, I think that's going to pretty well wrap it up for today's show. Hate to leave good company, but it is Saturday. I got some other stuff I need to get into. I want to thank y'all for the support, for watching my videos, for the comments that you leave, everything like that. Give y'all a big shout out for watching my videos. I know some of you watch the videos you really ain't concerned with or whatnot, but you do just to help support me. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. You know, the shares, the likes that you guys give me, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. But I'm gonna get out of here for the day, guys. If you like this kind of content, make sure you go down and give me a like. If not, there's that dislike button. There's that comment section below. I'll go through them every weekend here on my live show, Saturday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. If you really like this kind of content, make sure you don't forget about that lonely little subscribe button and notification bell. That way you're notified next time I put a video. I'll go live here on YouTube. And also, let me get pulled up here and take that one off. There we go. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. If you'd like to come over there and follow me. I don't kill your inbox, but I do put up videos of new products I got coming in here. Kind of give you an idea of what's going on or what you can expect on the channel coming up here in the near future. And if there's anything that's going to come about the live stream, you know, if I got to change the time, if I got to cancel for some odd reason, which I try not to cancel no more than what I have to, but it does happen from time to time. And that's why I put up that kind of information. All the links is in the description below if you'd like to come over there and follow me. And with all that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Halloween to y'all that actually do anything for Halloween. With me personally, I don't. But happy Halloween to you. Be safe out there while you take them little ones getting that candy. Make sure you check that candy, because there's a lot of mean people in this world anymore. Make sure you watch out for them little ones. But with all that being said, y'all have a good weekend or a good day, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.